My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. What is a psychic attack? What is a psychic attack? How do you know if you're being psychically attacked? And how do you get beyond that? That's what we're going to be exploring today in this episode. But I beg of you one thing before we get started. Would you please distrain and create all the significance you have about psychic attacks? Please do it for me. I know that even putting the word attack into a topic, all of our significance comes up. I get that. And I used to have a lot of significance in this area. But here's the thing. The more significance you give something, the more power over you give it. Yeah. So if we're skipping to the end of this episode, we would be talking about how to go beyond it. Part of it is to take the significance off. Anything you give significance to, you limit the possibility of, and you give power over yourself to it. This is not what I want to create today. I really debated whether or not this could be a podcast topic, but this is going on for so many people right now that I really got. I was gonna go forth with you and see what can we really explore here in a non-significant way. So we're going to use something called the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. We used it a million times on the show. You don't have to understand how it works or what it means for it to work. It just does. It is right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, pobads, and beyonds. If you want more information, please go to theclearingstatement.com. There is a whole video on there, an explanation of how this thing works, but we're not going into it today because we don't have time for that. We are going to go into psychic attacks, though. So psychic attacks can show up. So you can be psychically attacked from the past, from the present, or from the future. Psychic attacks can show up in many, many different ways. It can be just purely energetic, like you just feel like death bombs are being thrown at you. It can show up through conversations with people that kind of are surprisingly attacking. It can show up physically. It can show up with sleep. It can show up in a multitude of different ways. Do not go and assume like sorry, my hair is driving. This is my ADHD. I have this hair and it's driving me crazy. Do not assume that everything is now a psychic attack. That is giving it form, that is giving it structure, and that is giving it significance. You will find what you look for, okay? So if you start to look and seek for all the ways you're being psychically attacked, that's like all you're going to see. That's not what this is about. This is about being aware when something's showing up and you're like, is this a psychic attack? Lightness. Anything that's true for you will bring a sense of lightness. If you get that sense of lightness, then hopefully you replay this podcast and you can gain some more clarity, maybe use some of these tools, maybe have a little bit more peace. Now, when I first heard about psychic attack, I thought, well, I'm not really like some big influential person. I don't really think that I would be getting psychically attacked. I'm not in the government. I'm not like working on some underground military thing. Like, why would I be psychically attacked? If you have that point of view, how much do you actually have to cut off your awareness of what's showing up? And how much are you diminishing yourself as the gift and the contribution that you are. What if um, what if you're a greater gift to the expansion of consciousness, to the transformation going on planet Earth right now than you ever imagined possible, no matter what you do, whether it's you deliver mail or you are stay-at-home mom. What if just you being here is an energy, is a gift? And yes, those that are invested in the world going into an anti-conscious or an unconscious way may attack those that are bringing the world to more consciousness. Again, notice if some significance starts to show up for you, if it's creeping in, please destroy it and create all the form, structure, and significance to do with psychic attacks. Whew. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, bot, all nine shorts, boys, po-beds, and beyonds. There we go. Cool. So, yeah, why is this a valuable topic? Right now, I would say the last 4 years, 3 years, 4 years, but even more so like today, like this week, like recently, a lot of my clients, a lot of friends that I'm talking to in the consciousness space have been talking to me a lot about receiving psychic attacks, whether through sleep, whether through coworkers, whether through people that they thought that they were really close with, all these things going on. And again, sometimes it's just an energy. Sometimes it's just suddenly feeling so overwhelmed and you don't know why. You don't have a reason, but you feel like you're going to explode. Again, it might not be that. Please always ask the question, be in the question, stay in the question. Truth, is this a psychic attack? If it lightens up, as in like the intensity starts to dissipate a bit, or your space just feels more expanded or lighter, then that means it's true. Getting aware of what's going on, like getting clear about what's going on, is the greatest gift, because then you always will have the sense of how to handle it, right? It's kind of like knowing if you need a hammer or a screwdriver or a saw. If you're like, what tool do I use? You're kind of lost. You're not really moving forward. You can get stuck. But having that sense of clarity of what's actually going on here gives you the awareness to address it, the awareness to actually have ease with it, to create beyond it. And so if we took some of the charge out of psychic attack, right? Because it seems like it must be so much more powerful than us. It must be or sometimes like we want to like romanticize or like put it into this like fairy tale world of like the dark forces. I'm like thinking of Sauron and like Lord of the Rings all of a sudden, and it's like the dark forces are coming. Well, maybe the dark forces are coming. Maybe they've been here the whole time. Maybe they are planning and wielding and doing things. Again, if you make them significant, you give them your power. You actually feed them so that they have power over you. Hiding from them does not work. It will not work. It will not protect you. It will not save you. Even though there's that energy being impelled at you that it will, especially the game changers of the world. It's telling you to hide. It's telling you to dim. It's telling you to slow down or go a different direction, because it doesn't want you going into the direction of being all that you came here to be, that it's trying to stop, right? If hiding worked, trust me, I would have nailed it, because I did a lot of hiding and it didn't stop anything. It just was different. It was a different way of being attacked. But the more that I've chosen consciousness and grown my capacities, my abilities and skills with magic energy and such, I notice the psychic attacks more, but I wouldn't say I received them more. I just noticed them more, as when I was a kid, I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't have the information. And now what's occurred for me over the last few years is finally getting to the place where I went beyond the fear of psychic attacks, beyond the controls and jails of it, beyond the control of it. Wow. Yeah. Beyond the control. So then I could then show up, have conversations like this, knowing that, of course, there are forces that wouldn't want this video to get out there, wouldn't want you to have the tools, wouldn't want me to have the tools to go beyond the control and the corruption of these psychic attacks. And yet, there's a peace in my world that I never had before. And there's a knowing of my capacity and my potency that I would love to gift to you in whatever way you're willing to receive today. The thing is, if you weren't powerful, you wouldn't be psychically attacked. Why would they bother? So that's one thing to acknowledge right off the get, like right away. How powerful, how potent are you that's creating this in the first place? And again, please don't think, oh my God, then I should diminish my potency. I literally did that. I tried it for you. And you've actually probably tried it in your own ways or in other lifetimes. Does it ever really work? Do you ever really get that promised peace? I'll be good. I'll never use magic again. And then what? Are you actually free? No, you're not. You are not, my friend. What the greatest gift you can give yourself in this area is to actually amp the fuck up, is to explore what you're capable of with these capacities that those that don't desire you to have it are attacking you for. Jump in. Okay, cool. You don't want me to go that way? What's down there? Let's go. That's my philosophy now. And when I was willing to be that in my life, when I was willing to go, okay, I see you. I see you. You're trying to stop me from choosing fill in the blank. Cool. Now I know I have to choose it. Now I know that there's a sense of freedom and potency beyond this choice that you're terrified of me having. And I'm showing up for that. And in that space from that, oh, damn, are we unstoppable? We are so unstoppable if we're not willing to stop ourselves. That's the trick, is that we stop ourselves all the time. We get an attack and then we go, oh my God, I did something wrong. I messed up, whatever it is. And then we think we're the problem. But you're not. You're magical. You're wonderful. You are a gift. You're required. And if you can pull all of the significance and the power that you ever gave over to psychic attacks, it starts to become an awareness, an acknowledgement, and then you just go, okay, cool. What tool do I need to use? Am I using the hammer? Am I using the screwdriver? Am I using the saw? Because we're building something. I don't know why, but those are the things that came up. So asking the question, is this a psychic attack? So you could ask that even if your money starts going funny out of nowhere. Is this a psychic attack? If your sleep feels really disrupted, if your body just feels drained for no reason, if so see, there's someone that you're really, really close to, and when you get with them, like there's like this unstoppable energy, like there's this potency, and then but suddenly you're in conflict with them, and it's like you can't even fathom why. Is this a psychic attack? Ask that question. There are forces that would keep people separate that if they were to create together would be out of control. It would be too much for them to control. So they will do what they can to keep you apart. Okay, cool. Don't let them take that from you. Don't let them own you. And it's probably easier than you think. It's a lot less fighting than you would think. And it's a lot more about acknowledgement and some other weird, wacky tools. So the first step is really getting clear. Is this a psychic attack? And not assuming that everything is a psychic attack, please. And don't fake make things a psychic attack just to like, so you could explore psychic attack, okay? Because I know some of you are doing that, are going to do that. Just don't. I mean, you can if you want to. Do whatever you want to. However, it might not be the most fun. And it can create a lot of confusion in your world. Clarity. Clarity is the first step in changing anything, is to just get clear. If you don't even know what you're dealing with, how are you going to handle it? Like, how can you sort it out? Like, there's just a cloud of blah, blah, blah. And you're like, how do I be with this? Which is actually a great question. What can I be with this? What can I be with psychic attacks that allows me to never be at the effect of them again? Anything that doesn't allow that, will you just train and create it, please? Right, run, goodbye, pop, but all named shorts, boys, poets, bands. But you would ask that in the you, not in the me. It's for you. Yeah, so psychic attacks can show up like people defaming you, people poisoning the well against you. It could be like a social media thing. It could be like a work thing, or even in the family, like people gossiping about you or something like that. And I get that it might be hard not to make that significant because it's not fun. It can create a lot of upset in your world, and we can attach it to a lot of meaning about things. If it is indeed a psychic attack, and it could be something else, if it is indeed a psychic attack, okay, cool. What do I do with it? Can I change it? If so, how do I change it? You could ask that question, what can I be with this so that I'm not at the effect of this? What can I be with this so I'm not at the effect of this? Woo! One more time. What can I be with this so that I'm not at the effect of this? And see what shows up. You might actually have, oh, there's an idea. Or you're just going to perceive an energy show up. Cool. Be that. Anything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy it and create it, please? Right, wrong, goodbye, pop, pot, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Okay, so now you're being that. And now maybe you're going to go have a conversation with that person that you really adore and you don't know why you're fighting. What can I be with this? Okay, you ask this like right before you get on the phone or you see them for coffee or whatever it is. What can I be with this that would allow me and them to never be at the effect of psychic attacks? And if they're willing to have this crazy conversation, have it with them. Maybe send them this podcast episode. Be like, hey, is this sparking for you at all? Like, I feel like we were so close and then I don't even know what's going on. Like, this doesn't even make sense to me. Right, wrong, good, bad, talk about all nine shorts, boys, poets, beyonds, or the family member or whatever. Now let's look at the sleep thing is popping up again. So look at the sleep thing, for example. Maybe before you go to bed, you could ask, what can I be so that, What can I be so that I'm never at the effect? What can me and my body be? Sorry, we need to include the body because the being doesn't sleep. It's the body. So what can me and my body be to never be at the effect of psychic attacks, especially while we sleep? Anything doesn't allow that, we just train and create it. Please, right, wrong, goodbye, pop, but all nature is what's posed. Yes. There's so much energy on this. It's awesome. We're already changing more than it might seem just by having this conversation. You might notice things showing up differently, even if you feel like you're not really getting it, even if you don't know if you're really clearing the stuff or not. What if with the energetics, there's just so much going on underneath the currents of everything. We don't have to understand why we're being psychically attacked. So when I talk about clarity, clarity does not mean definition. So getting clear on something does not mean that you must define everything. Okay. So for example, I've had people with like body stuff going on and they want to like define what is the body stuff going on. Like if I know exactly what it is, then I can change or clear it. And defining can also create a limitation. So rather than defining like what's causing it, you can ask that question. That sometimes can create clarity. But notice the difference when you're trying to come to an answer, when you're trying to come to a conclusion, when you're trying to come to a definition. Definition by definition alone is a limitation. So you don't have to go and define why, like, am I going to, like, so people, I know, I love it too. I used to, oh my God, I would spend so much time in those like teeny bopper magazines, like filling out like little quizzes about myself. Like, I just wanted to know, why do I do this? Why do I function this way? And it's like we want to know more about our being. We want to know more about ourselves. So you might be like, oh, am I going to invent something one day that will change the world? Am I going to be an important person? And that you might just be an energy, an undefinable energy, and you might just go through your life having a really simple life, hanging out with horses, never talking to much of anyone else, and then you die. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be significant to have an impact on the world and to activate psychic attack. Whew. Even making yourself significant is a limitation. So what if you didn't have to figure out why you're being psychically attacked? And often what will happen if you go down that path is you might get to some awareness of like, oh my gosh, it's like this like, maybe you're like making huge waves in the school system. Like you are changing stuff, you're rocking the world. Like maybe you're doing something in the legal system, or maybe whatever it is. Okay, right? And so if you go in and go, oh, this is the reason, it must be because I'm creating this. Okay, for one, what is that actually, all those energies, what does that put on your creation? Like, are you going to feel as joyful about it and as like enlivened about it, knowing that every time you put your creative energy into it, that you're subject to psychic attack? How much significance does it put around your creation? Eee. Oh my gosh. And what if this isn't like, what if this is one of the many reasons? And then, but you put it all here, and then now you're missing a huge part of the picture. So anything that is allowing you to be out of definition, out of form, structure, and significance with psychic attacks, will you just try and create that? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, bot, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Cool. Wow. What do you notice is different? It's okay if you don't notice anything different, but if you did, what is different right now? Just from talking about this with me a little bit. This psychic attack is like a huge conversation, and you're going to find different information in the metaphysical world, the spiritual world, the religious world, the conscious world, and go with whatever works for you. Honestly, it's not about anyone having the right answer. It's about what's going to work for you, because that's what you're here and interested in this topic about, right? So explore whatever it is that feels light and expansive for you to explore in this realm. And I mean it, expansive. Even though we're talking about something that can be very intense, you might still have intensity show up, but notice if there's space to the intensity, or if space starts to show up when you start to read certain things. If you start to read certain things and your world starts getting more contracted, stop reading it, because there are lies in there that are actually contracting your world. And here's the thing, if you're more contracted, are you more at the effect or less at the effect of psychic attacks? You're more at the effect. You're more affected. The more contracted you are, the more you try to hide, the more significant you make it all, the more power you give it over you. What if there were some really practical, easy ways to go beyond ever being at the effect of the control and the consequences of psychic attacks? Wow. Anything that doesn't allow that for you, will you destroy and create it? Please, right, wrong, goodbye, pop, by all names, shorts, boys, puppets, and beyonds. And notice, please notice if the significance creeps up. Notice when that shows up in your world. You know, when you make something significant, you can tell the difference, and usually it's not very expansive. When we're light and joyful and laughing and playful, we are like the expansiveness of us, right? And from that space, what chance does a psychic attack even have against you? Nothing. You're like having too much fun to care. When we're serious and significant and like dense and solid, you just gave them everything they need on a silver platter to stop you, limit you, and control you. That's what just happened. So it's just simply a choice. And you might have to be really aggressively aware of it for a while. I know I did. I had to change my whole perspective and way of handling that stuff. When I first started to learn about psychic attacks and to learn about these different types of energy things that can be going on. And now psychic attacks can be from like a group, from a force. It can also be from an individual. It can be someone jealous of you. It could be someone from a past lifetime. It could be someone disembodied. And here's the thing is they don't necessarily always know that they are psychically attacking you. You may have psychically attacked people and not even known that you've done it. Like I said, this is a huge topic. This is a huge universe of awareness and, dare I say, possibility. The possibility of truly not being at the effect of psychic attacks ever again. Or at least having the tools so that when it shows up, you can go beyond it really, really fast. That's what's shown up for me. It's really fast now, or it doesn't even get to come in, which is just awesome. I'm so grateful for you exploring this with me. And hopefully we could explore more about this topic together. I am actually going to have a telecall. I was asked by a few people, poked and poked and poked and poked to do a call on this topic. And at first I was concerned about the significance. I was concerned about trying to do a call on this and people showing up and actually perhaps like giving more power over to psychic attacks from a call with me. But then I really got the awareness that if we're willing to get on together, a group of us, wizards. I like to acknowledge the wizards out there. And if you're being psychically attacked, you're probably a wizard. We actually got on together and we were all willing to let go of the significance, and we were all willing to really explore going beyond the effects, the controls, the consequences of this. Holy shit. What could we really choose? What could we really have and be in the world from that space? Imagine never being afraid to be all of you again. Imagine never feeling like you have to hide again. Imagine when this weird psychic attack stuff shows up, you immediately go, oh, cool, I have tools. And you implement those tools and you change it on the spot in the moment. What would that be like in your world? So if this is pinging for you at all, please check out the link in the description below to see if this might be something that would contribute to your life. I truly desire people to have the awarenesses, the potency, the energies, and the tools to have miraculous lives. We do not have to live at the effect of other people's realities and other people's wills and needs and controls. We don't. We get to be wizards in the world. We get to use these magical tools of access consciousness, those are the tools that I use and love, to really go beyond all of that and to orient the world around you rather than you being swirled and twirled around someone else's world. So join us. Let's go even deeper with psychic attacks. Let's clear this out of your universe and give you a huge set of tools and techniques that you can use right away to go beyond being the effect of this ever again. Never again do we need to bow down to any of this or hide from any of this again. You are powerful. You are potent. You are a wizard. And you got this. Thank you so much for exploring with me in the Curious Universe podcast, where we break down the structures of reality so you can have your own reality, a reality beyond all fear, controls, and consequences. I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you for exploring the Curious Universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?